Hey, welcome to Tech with Ratan. This is Ratan. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to deploy your Django project on Railway. So Railway is a cloud platform that makes deploying applications extremely simple. You do not have to do any kind of server setup. You don't have to manage any SSH. You don't have to have any DevOps knowledge to deploy the application on Railway. So you can simply connect your GitHub repository and then Railway will detect your project and deploy it automatically. And every time you push the code to the GitHub, Railway will automatically redeploy it. So there are many hosting options like AWS, DigitalOcean, Heroku, or Render. So we are using Railway in this course because it is the simplest platform for Django. We do not have to do any complex configuration. Okay, and we don't even have to manage the server manually. Okay, so for a course focused on building the AI agents, Railway is the perfect choice. Okay, so Railway has a free tier, and I will talk more about Railway's pricing and how Railway works and everything in a while. But a quick note, the Django project I'm deploying today is actually a multi-agent AI system with RAG that I built for my Django with the Agentic AI course. But everything I show here in this video applies to any Django application. So you can follow along with me regardless of what you're building or what you're deploying. And if you're curious about this project, check the end of this video where I'll show you how this project works and what exactly is covered in the course. Anyway, by following this video, you can deploy any kind of Django application on Railway for free. So when it comes to the Django application deployment, there are some preparation that we need to do. Okay, so these preparations are not at all complex because if you know how to set up the Django project on your local computer, that means you already know how to deploy a project on a cloud server or the production server. Okay, few things you need to keep in mind. Okay, so for example, when you want to set up the project, maybe from any GitHub repository, right? You get the source code, right? You get the source code and you bring it or clone it into the local server, and then what you do is you just set it up, in your local folder and run the requirements.txt for installing the dependency packages, and also you set up .env file for providing the secret informations, right? So these are the basic things that you do when setting up the Django project on your local computer, right? So same way we are doing it on the server. So server is also a computer, right? We need to do everything that we do in a local computer. Okay, but for production or serving our website for the public, we need to take care of a couple of things that Django itself cannot properly handle. So when it comes to preparing our project for the deployment, the first thing that we need to take care is to have a requirements.txt file. So in my project, I already have one requirements.txt file, but you know what? This is not updated yet. What I need to do is I need to actually put all my installed dependency packages to this requirements.txt so that we will install those packages in the live server, okay, or the production server, okay. So if I see like this pip freeze, what I will see is this much, right? So these are the packages that I have installed so far, but this requirements.txt is not yet updated. In your case, if you do not have the requirements.txt so far, what you will do is simply say pip freeze greater than symbol and then requirements.txt. Okay, when you do this, all of your dependency packages will come here. Okay, so and before you run this command, make sure you are inside the virtual environment. Okay, otherwise you will see a lot of dependency packages here, okay, which are the global scope. But anyway, I hope this env is activated in your case. And once this is done, then we need to create one file called Procfile. So this Procfile tells Railway how to start your application. In our case, we will use gunicorn as our production web server. Okay, so first let's create one file on the root folder of your Django application. Just create a new file and say proc file. Okay, proc file, and this file does not have any extension. Okay, and this p should be capital. Okay, proc file. Okay, so inside this Procfile, we need to tell the railway server that how to start our application. Okay, we are using GUnicorn as our production web server, so we have to mention it here so that railway knows that how to how to run our application. Okay, so the way we do this is just by saying web colon GUnicorn space. Then what you need to do is you have to put your WSGI path. So which is in my case DJ AI employee main. In your case, if this project name is different, just write that name. Okay. So DJ underscore AI underscore employee underscore main. Okay. And after this, just add one dot and WSGI. Okay. WSGI, this file we are referring to. Okay. So once this is done, just save this file. So this tells the railway server to start a web server by running this gunicorn command. So next what we need to do is to set up the static root. Okay, in this file, I mean in this project, I'm not using any static files because this is actually a AI, I mean agentic AI project, right? So it is more focused on AI agents and all that. So I'm not using much of a static files here, but still I have the admin static files. Okay, so if you have any static files in your project, so what you need to do is you need to actually set up the static root. Okay, so just come here and say static root. Okay, static root is equal to, what you do is os dot path dot join os. Okay, so you have to first import this os, import os, and that os will be imported here. And let me come back here. Okay, so os dot path dot join, and then you say base underscore dir comma maybe say static or static files. Okay, so even if you don't do this, your application or your static files are going to work until and unless your debug is true. But as you know, in Django application, when you deploy it, you should not keep your debug is equal to true. You have to keep your debug false. But when your debug is false, your static files will not work. Okay, your admin static files also will not work because it needs the static root, and it will stop working. Okay, so that's the reason we have to set up this static root so that on production our static files, static files will work without any issues. All right. So once this is done, next what you need to do is to run the collect static. Okay. You can simply go here and set the debug equal to, I mean, in my case, it is here in the en, I mean, it is true right now. Okay. So I will set this to false once the application is deployed. Okay. For now, I'll keep it as it is. So next, you need to just run one command called collect static. Okay, Python manage.py collect static. Okay, so whatever the static files you have in your project, everything will be collected in your static folder. So currently you do not have any static folder here. One folder will get created right now after you run this command. Okay, so you see 130 static files copied to this static folder. You see this one. Okay, you see this one. So right now I only have admin folder, but if you have in your project there are other static files, then those files and folders will also come here. Okay, so on production, any static files are serving, so it will be served from this directory. All right, so once this is done, next we need to install GUnicorn and WhiteNoise. So what is this GUnicorn? As I said, it's a Python's web server for production. We typically use GUnicorn for serving our applications, and they are responsible for executing your Python code. Okay, so let's install this GUnicorn. And you know what? You don't need this GUnicorn in your local server, but still we install it here because essentially I want to put this GUnicorn inside my requirements.txt. Okay, I can simply do this here, gunicorn, and I can just simply ship it to the server. But in future, if I add, install something here, and then if I run pip freeze requirements.txt, then only the installed packages will come here, and anything which is not installed or manually entered will be gone. Okay, so that's the reason I want to install it here. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I just save it and just come out. So I will just install pip install gunicorn. Gunicorn. Oh, sorry. Okay, pip install gunicorn. So the installation is done, and I also need one more thing called WhiteNoise. Okay, so this WhiteNoise is actually responsible for serving your static files on the production server. Okay, so I will install WhiteNoise also. Pip install WhiteNoise. Okay, pip install WhiteNoise. So again, this WhiteNoise is actually responsible for serving your static files on a production server. Okay, so we need this for on our production server. Okay, so that's the reason I am just installing it. So now that I have installed the gunicorn and WhiteNoise, I'll just put them into requirements.txt. So I'll say pip install, I mean not pip install, it should be pip freeze greater than requirements.txt. Okay, so when you run it, WhiteNoise and gunicorn will come here. Okay, gunicorn is here now. All right, so just installing WhiteNoise will not work. We have to tell Django to use WhiteNoise for serving the static files. Okay, so the way we do this is just by going to the settings.py, and here you simply say static static files underscore storage is equal to WhiteNoise dot storage dot static files storage. Okay, WhiteNoise dot storage dot static files storage. Okay, so make sure all the spellings are correct. Static files underscore storage is equal to WhiteNoise dot storage dot static file storage. Just save it, and this tells Django to use WhiteNoise for serving the static files on production. So next thing that we need to do is we need to actually put this WhiteNoise inside our request and response lifecycle is just by adding the adding the middleware, WhiteNoise middleware we have. So we'll have to add it here. So it will be WhiteNoise dot middleware dot WhiteNoise middleware. Okay, WhiteNoise middleware. Okay, WhiteNoise dot middleware dot WhiteNoise middleware. So this adds WhiteNoise as a middleware in Django's request response lifecycle. Once this much is done, one more thing that we need to do is to add the allowed host to the .env. Okay, so you see this allowed host, currently it is empty, but on production we are going to load the allowed host from the environment variables. Okay, not from not directly from the settings. So for that, what I'll do is I'll just go to this .env file, and here I'll add the allowed host. Let me just copy this. Allowed hosts is equal to, currently I will just say 127.0.0.1. okay, and comma, I will also add localhost. Okay, so this is for my this is for my local setup, but in the future I need to also add the domain name here, but anyway I'll add that later. So since this one has multiple hosts separated by comma, what I need to do here is go to settings, and I need to say config, and you simply pass this one allowed host, put the allowed host, and we will actually split it with the comma. Okay, we'll split with the comma, so that Django will take all of these allowed host as a valid allowed hosts. Okay, all right, so this much is the configuration for now. So this is a initial configuration, and next we need to set up the Railway account. All right, let's create Railway account. So it's very easy. You can simply go to railway.com, or you can simply click on the link that I'm providing. You can see the link on the screen, or you can simply click the link in the description. Okay, so the link is very simple. Railway.com/referral code is equal to tech with Ratan. If you just go to railway.com, it still works, but you will only get $5 credit. Okay, you'll only get $5 credit if you just if you only go to railway.com. But if you use my link with this referral code, you will get $20. With that, I think I will also get some small affiliate commission. But for you, you will get $20 as free trial. Okay, otherwise you will only get $5. All right. So once you are here in the railway, signing in is very easy. Simply click on this sign in and continue with GitHub. Okay. So the point here is you simply connect your railway account to your GitHub repository. Okay. So and then railway will automatically deploy your application. Okay. With minimal setup. All right. So I'll simply continue with my GitHub. Okay, so I already have this account, but if you do not have the account, it will ask for the permission, and also you'll have to accept some policy stuff. Okay, so once you are here, you'll see this kind of thing. Okay, it will ask you this kind of thing. What would you like to create? Simply go to select this GitHub repository. Okay, simply click on GitHub repository. This is my demo project. What you have to do is just click on this configure GitHub app. Click on it, and it will it will just ask for the access. You can either use the code or use your password to log in. Simply confirm. All right, so now it's actually asking for the access, repository access. Okay, so by default it will ask for all repository, but you know what, you simply give only the repository that you are working on. So in my case, I think it is let me check which repository is it. Okay, so this one, I guess. Yeah, this is the one, Django AI employees. I'll just use this Django AI employees. All right, just save it. Okay, so let's go back to the go back to here, and you'll see this one now. Okay, so your repository will be listed here. Simply click on it, and most of the things are automatically done here. It is actually creating the Django service. But you know what? The build is going to fail right now because we do not have any any environment variable or anything. Okay, we didn't even push the code to the GitHub yet. Okay, so we have many changes here. We have Procfile requirements.txt, and many things are not pushed yet. We will push it now. Let it fail. Okay, so you can click here and you will see what is happening here. So it is actually building the image. Let it fail. Then I will push the code to the GitHub, and I'll also show you how to create the environment variables and many things here. All right, it's crashed now. So it was expected because it does not have anything, any secret key and all that stuff. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to provide all of these environment variables to the server so that it can just pick it up and start serving. And we also need to set up the database. All right, to run our application, what do we need? We need the database, and also we need the secret informations like the secret key, database configurations, and other stuff, right? So we want to provide this to the railway server. But you know what? When you push the code to the GitHub, this .env will not go to the server, right? Of course, it will not go to the GitHub. So it is not going to the GitHub. That also means that it is not going to the server. So before we push this code to the GitHub, which will automatically go to the railway server, we will first set up this .env configurations or environment variable inside our, inside our railway server. Okay, so it's very easy. I will close this. I'll close this one also, and again you click on this Django service, and here you simply have to add your environment variables inside this variables tab. Okay, so you see this variable, but you see what are our variables here. We have, the main variable I have right now is the database configuration, and this is simple. And I also have the Anthropic API key and Anthropic model, and also have the allowed host. Okay, so these are the main things that I need, that I need to add to the Railways variables. But you know what, I don't have the database in my Railway server. This is my local database. This database has nothing to do with the server or the Railway server. So that's the reason I need to create one MySQL server, because I'm using MySQL. Okay, so if you look at my settings.py, the configuration, you see django.db.backends.mysql, right? So that's the reason I need to set up the MySQL server now. So what I'll do is I'll just go here and I'll close this one. And you see here, I'll simply click on add, and when you add it, you simply click on this database. If you're using Postgres or Redis, MongoDB or MySQL, you can select one of, whatever the database you are using. And in my case, I'm using MySQL, so I'll select this. Okay, so it is spinning up MySQL, and let's wait. Okay, so service is offline, it's showing, and I'll just click it, and it is actually automatically working and processing. So it will be up in a second. Okay, so I don't need to create any tables here. Okay, so you can see MySQL is online. So Railway also created your, your configuration, your database, and everything is ready now. You simply go to this variables tab. Okay, so in this variables tab, you simply need to copy these, database name, and then the MySQL host, password, port, user, and everything. Okay, so I'll just, okay, you can just open this. Okay, so click on this I button, you will see the database name, and similarly this URL you can see. Okay, and host is there. Okay, so we need to save it somewhere now. I will open one new window. So here I'm gonna save my, this is my database, right? So I'll save my data. So this is database name, Railway, and also what I need is the host. Okay, so I'll copy this host, and here I'll come and say host, this one, and I'm just keeping it safe, so that I'll just I'll add it to my Django's environment variables. So I'll also copy this password. So this is your database password, database user password. So password is this one, and I need to copy the user. Okay, MySQL user. I'll copy this. User is equal to root, and also I need the port. Okay, I'll just copy this port. Okay, so I have these 5 things, right? So here also I'm only using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. Okay, so now that we have MySQL, only this much you have to do. You don't have to do anything else. So since you already have the variables in your notepad, you simply, click on this Django service, go to variables. Okay, here there is no variables now. So first I will add secret key. I'll come here. Okay, let's start adding from here. I'll start with the secret key. I'll copy this and come here and say secret key. The value, you can just use this one, or you simply generate Django secret key. Okay, so you'll see this website. Simply generate and copy, and I'll close this. You put it here. Done. Add one secret key. One environment variable is added. Next, I'll go back and I need this debug, right? So I'll add this. Debug will be true for now. Later, once the application is deployed, we will set it back to false. Okay, so again, this DB name. Okay, simply copy this DB name and create a new variable, and the value will be this one. So DB name means database name, right? So this will be railway. So railway has created one, one database for you. So you have to put this here and click add. And again, what else? We need the DB user. Okay, so DB user is, I think it should be root, right? DB, yeah, you see this root. Okay, so I'll use root, add, and then also I need what? DB password. I'll put the password, and then I will, what password we have. You see, this is the password. Okay, so this password is generated by railway for you. You add it, and then what else? I need the DB host. Add new variable, DB host. Just copy this host, MySQL dot railway dot internal. Add it, add it. Okay, and then DB port. Come here and add the DB port, and the DB port is 3306. Okay, and since we are using the Anthropic, we'll have to put this one Anthropic API key, and I'll put my key as well. Okay, just paste it, add, and then I will also use Anthropic model. If you have any other environment variables, you just make sure you add it here in the variables tab. Just add it. And I think one more that we need is allowed host. But you know what? Currently, I don't know the allowed host, right? So we need to create the domain name. How to create the domain name? You simply go to settings, and here in the networking, right? In the networking, you click on this domain name. Okay, generate service domain. Here you can just say 8000 port. Okay, you see, enter the port your app is listening on, so it should be 8000. Click on this generate domain. It will create it will create a domain for you. All right, you can see this is the domain that you need to put in the variables. Okay, so again I'll add a new variable. So value will be this domain, and what else? Okay, allowed host I should set. Okay, allowed host. All right, click add. Okay, so I have added all the environment variables, and now I will close it. Okay, I'll close it. So you can click on this deploy button, but you know what? I don't want to click here. I want to push the code to the GitHub so that it will, automatically take my changes from the GitHub and try to deploy my project. Okay, so I'm expecting a couple of errors, but I want the errors. I really want to show the errors so that you will, properly understand. All right, so I'll first, I'll actually say git status. All right, so let's say git add -a, git commit -m, deployment initiated. Okay, so I'll simply say git push origin main. Okay, so when you do this, your this will automatically start building. Okay, so let's wait. Let's see what happens. If we get any error, I'll show you how to see the error logs also. Okay, deployment is successful. Let's wait a second. Sometimes it shows, all right, within a second, it just crashed again. Okay, so if you see like this, what you do, you simply click on here and you will see the deploy logs. Okay, let's see why, it has crashed. Okay, so it's saying secret key not found. Why secret key not found? We have already given the secret key, right? But still it is saying secret key not found. All right, that could be because our code has, reached to the railway, but we did not deploy our secret key and all stuff that we just added here, right? So that could be the reason. Let's make these changes. I'll just click on this deploy. Okay, so let's see. So it's actually again, deploying it. Let's wait. All right, looks like the deployment is successful. So let me view the logs. Okay, so okay, so there's still a problem, but you know what? The container is running. Let's try to access our site. Let me copy this and come here and see. Okay, so the application failed to respond, and we got 502 error. Okay, so 502 bad gateway, which means I think it's it's actually starting Gunicorn and it's listening to this one. So Gunicorn is not actually able to serve the website. So that's the reason we are getting 502 bad gateway. You can read more things about this, fixing common errors. You see application failed. So this is the error that we are that we are getting right now. So what we will do is we'll just have to modify this Procfile. Okay, we'll modify this Procfile and bind it to our port 8000 port. So I'll say 0.0.0.0 colon um, I'll say port. So this is actually, I'm passing the port dynamically here. So when I just push this code to the GitHub, so what will happen is it will try to get the port number from the variable from here, that, the variables that we have added, right? So from here, the variable will take, and let's, before I forget, let's simply add this port 8000, add it. Okay, so this port will automatically come here. So this will become 0.0.0.8000. Okay, so this could be because, the error, you see this error, view logs. It's actually listening to 0.0.0.88080. Let's, let it listen to 8000. Okay, so since you have made changes in your Procfile, which is in the local environment, so I will push this code to the GitHub. Git add hyphen a git commit hyphen m um, modified Procfile. Okay, so I'll push it. Git push origin main. All right, so it will automatically deploy it. So I need to again, deploy it because I have added this port, right? So let's see what happens. Okay, so two things are happening. One is actually the change that we did in the local computer. It's coming here, and another one is the one that we just added this variables, right? So both things are actually reflecting here. Let's see what happens. All right, so the changes are done. Let's try to load the site again. Okay, so looks like our website is working, but you know what? In my homepage, there is nothing. So that's the reason you're seeing this page not found. If you're deploying some other, some other project, you must be seeing the homepage. Okay, so in my website, I have this orders. Okay, so I got the login page, and also I have the admin. Okay, so I have the admin page, and I also have the orders page. All right, so I need to log in, but you know what? I don't have any data here. So all my data is inside my, local database. So one thing that you can do is you can simply use the new database that you have created right now, right? So this MySQL database is actually a new database. Okay, so we don't have any tables here. You see this, right? Currently, we don't have anything here in this database. It's a brand new database. So if you want to add the existing data from your local computer or from your local database to this live server database, then you have to dump your data from the local server and load it in the live server. Okay, so we'll do that in a moment. All right, so now we need the local data in the live server. So that's the reason I'm going to dump my data from the local server, I mean local database, and put it in the live server. Okay, so if you don't want it, if you don't want the local database, then you can simply create the super user and all that from here. So if you just go to here, currently you don't have any users here. Okay, so what you need to do, if you don't want to load the data, then you can simply go to this not here, you have to come here. Okay, to the Django service, and in the console you will actually see the file structure of your website. Okay, so the same files and folders that you had in the local server, right? So same thing you will see here. You see, so everything is here, right? So requirements.txt, procfile manage.py, and all the apps, all the folders are here. Okay, and this is your terminal. Okay, so this is your terminal, just like what we have here, right? So this is the terminal that you have there. Okay, so that's why if you don't want if you don't want to load the data, then you can simply create the super user from here, python manage.py create super user. Okay, so all those stuff you can do directly in the console of railway. I don't want to do that, so what I'll do is I'll just first I'll take the backup of my local database. Okay, so here I will run python manage.py dump data. Okay, so this dump data is a command that takes all of your data from the database. Okay, so if you simply run this, if you want to just see how this dump data works, and how this dump data fetches, you can simply run this command. Okay, python manage.py dump data. So this is a management command, just like run server. Okay, you see this is the data that you have in your database. Okay, so this is what we need, but you know what, this is not properly readable, right? So if you want to read it, this is actually a JSON data. Okay, so but this is not readable, it's kind of a junk thing. So if you want to read it properly, what you can do is just add one indent. So you simply say python manage.py dump data hyphen, I mean space, hyphen indent, then you give two indentation, and run it. Now you can see this is properly readable, right? So you see this one, right? So model this, and primary key fields and everything is there. So this is kind of a data that you can actually read. Okay, but this is just I'm just showing this. I don't think you will have to edit this file or this data manually. Okay, so what I will do is I will just add this data as it is to my data.json. Okay, you see, just put this greater than symbol and data.json, just like how you run requirements.txt, right? So if you put greater than symbol, that means that whatever data it gives, just put it inside the file. Okay, data.json. But you know what, when migrating your data from one database to another database, we need to be careful about two things. One is your Django's default built-in permissions. and another one is the content type. Okay, so the content type is actually a Django's internal table. And also the permission is kind of, in Django you have can add user, can change user, can delete user, can view user. So these are all the built-in permissions provided by Django itself. Okay, similarly content types is also a Django's internal table which is built in. You actually don't need to export and import it into the new database. Okay, because Django automatically creates these permissions when you run migrate command. Okay, but if you if you export it from one database to another database, sometimes it will cause duplicate key errors, okay, which we don't want. So that's the reason, always, right, always you exclude permissions and content types when you dump the data from from one database to another. Okay, so how to exclude? You see, python manage.py dump data, then space hyphen exclude. Okay, hyphen exclude auth dot permission. Okay, auth dot permission, which means when you are taking the data, when you are dumping the data, don't take this table. Okay, just exclude this table. We don't want to take this table. Okay, same thing, again use one space. We also want to exclude another thing. Again exclude space content types. Okay, simply say content types and then space indent to, then greater than symbol data.json or backup.json. Okay, just hit enter. The moment you hit enter, you will see this data.json file. Okay, or backup dot, this is actually a backup.json. So because we put this indent to, right, so this file is readable. If you did not put indent to, then it would have been like the junk file, the junk thing that you saw in the terminal, right? So that's the meaning of this indent to. Okay, so I hope this is clear. And next what we will do is, currently we have this data.json in local server, right? We just want to take it to the live server, right? It's very simple. Simply add it to the GitHub and push it, and then automatically it will come to the production server. I'll simply say git add dot or hyphen a, you can write. So and then I'll say git commit hyphen m local db backup. Okay, and again git push origin main. Okay, so when you do this, automatically your code will come here. Okay, so you see this automatically, it will just take your new changes when you push the code to the GitHub. So this is actually the benefit of using Railway. Okay, so if you just don't want to, if you just don't want to manage your DevOps things or the Docker and all other stuff, right? So server things, SSH and all. So this is very easy. Okay, so the code has been, reached to our Railway server. So the next thing that we will do is just go to console and just verify if we have the data.json here. You see this, right? So we have, we just got this data.json in our file structure in the database. Okay, so these are all the files that we have in the data. I mean, in the in the server. Okay, so since we have this data.json, the next thing that we will do is simply load it. Okay, so how to load it? You have this console, right? So this is your this thing, what do you call the terminal? If you say ls, you can see everything you have here. Okay, so I'll say python manage.py load data. Okay, this time load data. When you want to take a backup of your data, you simply run dump data. Okay, when you want to import it or load it to another database, you simply have to say load data. But you know what, before I load this data, I will first create the default tables of Django. Okay, currently my I in my database there is nothing. Okay, there is nothing. I have to create the default database tables. Those permissions, users and all stuff will come. Okay, and after that, on top of that, I will add the data. Okay, so that's the reason. You simply say python manage.py migrate. So this is what this is what you run when you set up a new database in the local server, right? So when you run this migrate command, all of your data, default database tables will be created. I'll run it. Okay, you can see all of these tables are now created. Now we have the tables created. Okay, now we have the tables created. In that table, we will put the data. Okay, so that's how it is. I will clear it. Now I will run Python manage.py load data. Okay, load data. Then you simply put this data.json. Okay, Python manage.py load data.json. Okay, hit enter. All right, you can see installed 460 objects from one fixture. All right, now I think I can now check the, check my website. I'll try to just log in. Okay, so I'll use my username and then I'll put my password. Okay, so this was expected, but I did not make this configuration. So this is actually a CSRF verification error. What we need to do is we need to tell Django that this website, right? So this domain is authorized to run this project. Okay, so how to do that? You will simply go here in the settings. Okay, so you don't have to actually directly modify any code from here. Okay, don't try to add anything directly in the directly in the inside this file. So whatever you want to do is just come to this local server and make the changes. Okay, so what you need to do here, go to the settings.py, and here we will tell Django to trust our domain. Okay, so CSRF, so this is actually a configuration, CSRF trusted origins. Okay, CSRF trusted origins is equal to what you need to do is just put this just put this domain with the with this HTTPS. I'll put it here inside the quotation. Okay, so remove this forward slash. Okay, so this is your domain. This is your website. You have to put it inside the CSRF trusted origins so that Django will trust this URL and serve the application. Okay, so let's add this to the GitHub. Git add dot git commit -m fixed CSRF trusted origins issue, git push origin main. All right, so let's let's refresh. Okay, so I'll come here and let it deploy. Okay, so the deployment successful. Now I hope this is fixed. Let me refresh. Okay, I'll just say Django admin and my password. Login. All right, now I can access my website. So that's how you deploy your Django application on a railway server. Okay, and one more thing you notice here, this one is actually the temporary domain provided by railway. Okay, but if you want to connect the real domain or the custom domain, then what you need to do is just click on this Django service and go to settings, and here in the networking, right? So this is the one, this is actually the default domain provided by railway, and you see this custom domain option, right? Click on this custom domain, and if you have, if you already have the domain name, you simply put the domain name and then select the port 8000 and then add the domain. So when you add the domain, you will get the CNAME. Okay, so this is actually a CNAME is actually a DNS record. You have to add this DNS to the registrar. Okay, so maybe namecheap.com or godaddy.com. Okay, so any registrar you have registered the domain, you simply add the CNAME in that platform. Okay, and then wait for like 2 to 3 hours. Automatically the DNS will be propagated. And also one last thing that you need to do is go to this variables and add the allowed host. Okay, simply edit this allowed host and put a comma and write this one. Okay, your domain.com. Okay, your domain.com, and just say yes, and then click on this deploy. Okay, automatically your domain will start working. Okay, so now I will remove it. I'll just say okay, and all right, so that's how you deploy the application on a Railway server. If you have any doubts, you can ask me, in the Discord or Q&A section. Or if you're watching from YouTube, you can ask me questions on comment section. So with that said, that's it for this video, and thanks a lot for watching. All right, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what we are going to build in this course. So we are going to build the customer support portal for a fictional company called Coolbreeze AC. So this Coolbreeze AC is a company that sells air conditioners. So first of all, we'll be having the login page so that the customer can log in. So I'm logging in as a customer. So here, the moment you log in, you will see the list of orders. Okay, so these are the list of orders that we have put in the database. Okay, so in this my orders page, you will see the order status: pending, cancelled, dispatched, or delivered. And now if you have any issues with any of these orders, you will simply go to the order detail page, and here you will see the details of this order and including the status, and there is also refund history. So there's this get help button. So I'll click on this get help button, and you can now contact the support agent. On the other side of this chart, there is no human. There are only AI agents. We have 3 AI agents. One is the level 1 support agent, which is Maya, and another is the manager agent, and another one is the risk agent who will access the fraud risk of a customer. Okay, so we can just start talking just by saying hi or anything. Okay, so it will just greet you, and after that I will ask some questions. Okay, so maybe I'll ask a question that needs that needs an interaction with our database. Okay, so this is very important. We are actually connecting our support agent with our real data, with the database. Okay, since this order status is still dispatched, I want to ask why my order is not yet delivered. So the moment I hit enter, this message will go to your AI agent, and this AI agent will actually look at the order status and order details, order status, and everything, and it will give you the response. I have the code here. So parallelly, I will show you some of the tools getting triggered the moment I hit enter. Okay, so this means the AI agents are running. All right, so let me hit enter, and you will see this typing. And while this is typing, and you will see our AI agents, they have started running. Okay, so you can see here. So it is calling the order details with this order ID, and there is there is already a final reply from our AI agent. And you know what, there is no manager involved in this chat. Okay, so only the support agent is enough to handle this kind of easy task. So it is saying your order is currently in transit with the blue dot, and the good news is it is estimated to be delivered tomorrow. Okay, so I'll ask something complex. So I will say I need a refund. Okay, I need refund. So let's see now what will happen in the terminal. You can see, okay, so the agent has started in a thread through 2, and okay, so you will see this one, right? So there should be a manager involved here. Okay, so you can see, um, okay, you can see the manager received the case for review, and now manager is consulting the risk agent for fraud assessment, because before I provide the before anyone provide the refund, he needs to see, right? So whether the customer is risky or not, right? So now we got the decision deny refund. Okay, so 3 agents, they talked to, or they communicated with each other, and they decided that they should deny the refund. Okay, so you can see here, unfortunately the refund cannot be approved at this time. All right, so 3 agents are working. One agent is the level 1 support agent, and then the manager is being triggered, and after that the manager is taking the help of the third AI agent, which is the risk agent. So the risk agent will actually assess the customer's risk profile and come up with the decision or the verdict. And then your manager, you see this decision made by senior support manager Coolbreeze AC. So this kind of decisions we get from the AI agents. And then your level 1 support agent will tell you this in a chat. Now, let's say Coolbreeze AC has the staff who wants to see the decisions of the AI agents. They cannot just go to the terminals and see, right? So that's the reason we have the full Coolbreeze AC dashboard. Okay, so this dashboard will have this conversation list. So if I view this, you will see the agent activity. Okay, you will see all the agent activity, right? So you can see the escalate to manager, and there is a decision and the verdict, calling get customer risk profile, and everything is here, right? The manager, risk agent, and everyone is running. So this is not a normal static dashboard, it's a live streaming dashboard. Okay, how it is a live streaming dashboard, let me show you how it works. Okay, so I will just make it a little smaller so that side by side I can see. So I will say, maybe I will lie something. Maybe I'll say, but your salesperson said I will get the refund. Okay, so let's see. The moment I hit enter, you see this right on the right side. This started working. So it's processing, and you can see it is calling the tools and escalating to the manager, and the manager received the case, and there is a risk assessment again, right? So let's see what happens. Okay, so again, risk agent gave the verdict, and it says the risk level is medium for me, and again the decision came, refund denied. Okay, even if I said your salesperson said I will I'll get the refund, but it says that I've checked with my manager, and unfortunately the refund cannot be approved at this time. Okay, so it is hard to trick this kind of AI agents. Now one more interesting thing I want to show you. So see, I have let me just minimize this, and I have these files, I mean these FAQs, and I have this refund policy, and I also have this warranty policy, right? So in typically what happens in the real companies, real support agencies, they provide this kind of policies or the documents to the human support agents. But we have AI agents, not human agents, right? So we are implementing the RAG system for the AI agents to be able to search through these company documents and the policies using the vector database called ChromaDB. Typically, LLMs are trained with the broad context, okay, with their training data, but they don't know about the Coolbreeze AC refund policy, right? We have to tell them. How we will tell them? With the RAG system, okay. So now I will ask some questions regarding the Coolbreeze AC company policy, right? So let me say, what is your refund policy? So you can see the response, right? So it is giving the proper response as we have in our refund policy, right? 90 days of delivery, and within 30 days of product delivery, and the refund requests are typically processed within 7 to 10 days. The same thing it is saying. And let's say I want to ask the support agent which stabilizer I want to use for this AC. Okay, which stabilizer I should use for my AC. Okay, so this is kind of you're talking to a human, right? So let's say, you see, since you have 1.5 ton AC, you see this, it is 1.5 ton AC, right? So we recommend using minimum 4 kVA stabilizer for safe and optimal performance. How does this know that 4 kVA? Because we have the document about our Coolbreeze AC, right? So this is the product document, and you'll see what stabilizer should I use. Use a minimum 4 kVA stabilizer for 1.5 ton AC, right? There can be a lot of use cases, like what if the user wants to ask the support agent, how do I clean the filter, right? Let me say, how do I clean the filter myself? Okay, so your document has everything. Your AI agent knows that how to do that, right? So it's pretty simple. Just remove the front panel. You see this, whatever it is saying is actually in the product manual, right? You see this, remove the front panel, slide out the filter, and the same thing is, it is reading and understanding and telling you the exact exact steps that you need to take. Okay, so these AI agents are actually trained and made for this Coolbreeze AC company. Okay, so this is the kind of intelligent application you're going to build in this course. Once the development is done, we will deploy this project on the production server. So that's the complete end-to-end project you're going to build in this course. And you can definitely include this project in your resume and portfolio. So if you're interested to build this complete agentic AI system on your own, just enroll now. I'll see you inside the course.